said he switched. What looks to me like he lowered his hands. He said he made some tweaks in his stance, and I've never had 9 RBIs in a game. I've never had 7 RBIs in an inning, so it worked. What went into that, and can you talk a little bit about that? Because his Saturday game was unbelievable.
Unbelievable game. One of the best games, individual performances I've ever seen a player have. I think Monday after the Ole Miss series, we were just kind of looking for anything that we could do to improve. And Coach Wanaka and I were texting back and forth Monday night of like, hey, we got to do something. Like, I mean, he had really, really struggled. It was, I didn't really want to make a lineup change because I think the upside of his ability supersedes anybody else we could put in for him, which is why we've kind of just left him in there. But at the same time, like he was struggling. So Coach Wanaka suggested maybe lowering his hands and asked me what I thought of that. I said, I think we should do it. It might get him connected, tapped into his strength because he's a strong guy. And it also might help him, manage more pitches in the zone with his hands that high. I haven't loved it because I felt like unless it was a high fastball, he was having a really, really hard time with it. So they went to work on Tuesday prior to the game against Northwestern State, and as a hitter, you know how that goes. You make a change, and then you go out and you hit 2 homers. It's like,
if something clicks, you're like, I'll swing upside down if you tell me to swing. If it feels good, and that's all you need is a little bit of jolt of confidence. I guess for people listening and the people watching, because I know what you mean by being connected and having your hands down and being in that position. And you said, his hands being raised high, it gave him more problems on the pitch down. Can you explain why that is and why, like, what being connected means as a hitter? Because, I mean, obviously we know what it is, but for the people listening, I think that's a lot of people love to hear that, the ins and outs of that part of baseball.
Yeah, so he's a really strong kid. Like, if you, high-five him, I mean, you feel, the impact of his hands, or you kind of give him, one of those nudge and you hit him in the body. Like, he's well put together. And so what we want to do by being connected is basically take the bat and make it a part of your body and then get the body to, move the bat all as one, as opposed to your upper body and lower body being separated. And when you do that with a guy like Brayden, now he can tap into all of that strength. But more important than the strength piece, I think, lowering his hands opened up more of the strike zone for him to be able to make an impact on. He's already a good high ball hitter, but with his hands so high like that, there's so much distance they have to go to get to the low pitch. And it was kind of like he was in and out of the zone quickly. It was too steep of a swing. Right. There was no margin for error. And so now, by getting him in this position, it's created some more margin for error. And credit to him for working on it. Credit to Coach Wanaka for working with him on it. And really proud of him and mentally proud of him as well. He's hit some homers, but other than that, he would tell you he hasn't had the season he's probably wanted to have. And he's now just taking it one at bat at a time and making each at bat kind of its own competition. And he did a great job of that this weekend. So it's great to see him in the best place he's been, both mentally and physically.